potential. This had so much potential. But it just got so wasted. But this song was okay. As you may have gleaned from that strange intro, or at least the title down below, I finally seen Cats. I also made sure Amy watched it. She did want to. I didn't sit her down Clockwork Orange style. Tempting, though it was. But no, she was interested in it, and we both sat there and absorbed this film, I guess. It was directed by Tom Hooper, who also wrote the screenplay with Lee Hall, that being based on Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical, which itself was based on a bunch of poems by T.S. Eliot. It stars James Corden, Idris Elba, Sir Ian McKellen, Dame Judi Dench, Jennifer Hudson doing an amazing turn, and the cinematic debut of Francesca Hayward, who thankfully I know has got work after this, so I'm very glad of that. But some of those names just don't correlate with the quality we got. At least in something like The Room, it was not meant to be that bad, but it was on a shoestring budget. It was not going to be great. From every single part of that production, you could tell that this wasn't going to be a cinematic masterpiece. This, however, Cats, was a big budget production with names like those I've just said, as well as James Corden. But it just was much worse, I'd almost say. There was some good, though. I do want to talk about the good before I really lean into how awful this was. As I said, Jennifer Hudson's performance was amazing. Brilliant version of the song. Elaine Page will always be a lot of people's favourites, but this was definitely on a par. I really enjoyed it. I knew that I was going to be affected because I'm a big emotional baby, and I was distracting myself actually during both versions to avoid blubbing like a big child. I'll admit that. No issue with that. Francesca Hayward, again, in her first performance, not a bad one at all. And because she is actually skilled in ballet, that's her background, a lot of that comes through her performance. It's very, very brilliant dancing across the board. Even some of the background actors clearly have some kind of dance background, and it shows. The choreography and everything in this is good enough to be on stage in most cases. Some bits are not so great, but some bits, like I say, could be in a stage performance, and many of them have probably done a version of Cats at some point in their lives. I wouldn't be surprised. Rebel Wilson wasn't super annoying to me, which is unusual because I normally don't tolerate her, but maybe it's because everything else was so bad. Is there anything else good? Actually, no. I don't think there is anything else good, so let's talk about the bad. Rebel Wilson having a zipper of her fur, which then shows her with fur and a glittery thing underneath. I don't understand that. That makes no sense. A lot of it makes no sense. I get the feeling that Jellicle is a word like smurfing. It's got that feel that you could put it in place of a lot of swear words and it would still convey the message. Like, I've had it with these Jellicle snakes on this Jellicle plane. It's got that feel to me, and the fact that they say it so much. I haven't got the time or the patience to sit through the film again and make a Jellicle cut, effectively, of all of them together. Someone out there probably has. If I found it by the time of uploading this video, I will happily put a link to it below if you really want to torture yourself. But I do not. Jellicle this, Jellicle that. Everyone is a Jellicle cat. It's what it feels like. I mean, Amy's biggest problem that she said before, she's tried to watch the 98 film performance. And the first song, it just made her go, this is just childish and stupid. And I understand that. Maybe as she's gotten a bit older, she's got a bit more patience, and she can actually sit through that and just go, okay, this is still stupid, but let's see what happens after this. Doesn't get much better though. But I totally understand that. A lot of the songs do have that simplicity and stupidity, dare I say. There is a great song by a great singing comedian, Mitch Benn, where he basically mocks the entire Lloyd Webber oeuvre. And again, if I can find a version somewhere, there'll be a link to it below. Otherwise, just hunt out Mitch Benn's whole back catalogue. You'll be doing yourself a favour. But It's very much like that. I never realised how accurate that was until I was watching this. I was listening to the music in this and I was thinking to myself, this feels very Phantom. This feels very everything else Lloyd Webber's ever done. Because it is. He's a one-note pony. And I guess, all musicians, myself included, will often repeat things because we have certain patterns that we lean into because those are our naturals. We'll hear, we'll have a certain do-dee-do-do-do that'll be like our signature thing in our head. So it'll be in everything we do, or most things we do. I totally understand that. And the body of work that Lloyd Webber has created, I can see it. But still, it doesn't take away from the fact that, yes, they all sound very samey, and some of them are very simplistic tunes so that people can sing them on the way home. It's designed this way. It was written like that to keep it simple for dim tourists to memorise, to paraphrase a song by Mitch Benn that I referenced earlier. And when you realise that, all the songs lack something. The fact that a brand new song written for this by Lloyd Webber and Taylor Swift, of all people, sounds like it fits perfectly says how much Lloyd Webber just has a certain thing. Because yes, okay, you wanted it to fit into the piece. You didn't want Beautiful Ghost to stand out on its own thing and just be completely against the rest of the film. I understand that. But it literally could be in this, it could be in Phantom, etc., etc. And that's not a good thing, necessarily. I did enjoy Beautiful Ghost for the most part, I will say. Interesting addition to it. Like I say, I've never seen a performance before. I will watch the 98 version at some point, probably. But, yeah, it was okay. I really can't think of any other great things to say about this, or even any other awful things. You know when people say they've had a traumatic experience, and they can't remember it because their brain's just gone, no, and battened down the hatches and gone, you are not seeing this. This is not a thing that you need to experience ever again. I think I'm having, like, PTSD with cats, effectively. That at some point I'll see one of my cats walking through a room and all of a sudden one of those memories will suddenly resurface and I'll be paralysed with absolutely horrific visions of, like I say, Rebel Wilson dancing around like an idiotic cat, or James Corden bumbling around like an idiotic cat, which, really, I've only added the word, like the sounds ick cat this time, so not that unusual. But I know it's easy to hate James Corden, by the way, but it doesn't do anything for me. This isn't just leaning into like, oh, everyone thinks that. It is genuine. I don't find him interesting or funny or entertaining particularly. But yeah, there's so much there that I can't remember, and it's my brain refusing to let me, I think. So if at any point in the future you see me like with a dead-eyed stare in the distance, I'm probably having Cats flashbacks. Please come up to me and start humming a good song, which will hopefully take me out of it. Not that I'm, belittling, of course, PTSD, really. Obviously that was a joke in a bit, but I know PTSD is a very serious thing. Just to put that out there before anyone moans, it's like, don't mock PTSD. I know it's awful. But so is Cats in its own way. And I don't want to devote any more time to it. I've run out of steam on this. I just can't say any more. Apart from the fact that I never thought I'd sit there and have Judi Dench tell me that a cat is not a dog.
A cat is not a dog.
I'm so glad I watched this film because I didn't know that otherwise. But really, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So hopefully I'm going to watch something else that'll clear this out of my brain entirely. There's little remnants. But until then, as always, thank you for watching and take care. And remember, a cat is not a dog.